So can you stop sharing your screen, maybe, Thomas? Okay, so Thomas. Yeah, okay. So thank you again, Laurent. So we have the next presentation will be given by Pierre Poulain from the Institut Jacques Monod on the topic of software preservation. So thank you very much, Pierre.
Okay, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
fine.
Thank you, Alban. So the purpose of this flash presentation is to raise awareness regarding the archiving of research software source code, especially in bioinformatics. So we are all trying to embrace reproducibility at some point, and for some time now we have some guidelines and advices published in the literature. And one of these guidelines is basically to put every script, every program we may produce, we may write in a version control system. So version control systems such as Git basically is a tool that will track all modification we could make to our code, and that will remember, that will memorize every single change to our code. And of course, we are probably using a free development platform such as GitHub and GitLab for collaboration, and also showcasing your code and sharing your code. But at some point, you have to be very aware that this platform could shut down. This happened 6 years ago with Google Code, and 1.4 million projects just vanished. And last year, a 250,000 project has been impacted when the company Bitbucket decided to discontinue the support for Mercurial, that is another version control system. So basically, it's good to use, I would say, free development platform, but you need a plan B, and you need also, I would advise you for this reason and for also many good reasons, to archive your source code with Software Heritage. That is the great library of source code. So it archives your open source code permanently and for free. Software Heritage is a non-profit organization launched in 2016 at INRIA by Roberto Di Cosmo and Stefano Zacchiroli. And Software Heritage is currently supported by UNESCO, the CNRS, Microsoft, YY, and many other companies. Since 2015, 2016, Software Heritage archived more than 10 billion source files from more than 160 million projects. And as you could see from these graphics here, it is still increasing. For the Software Heritage archived a lot of different sources, but for bioinformatics people, it's worth noting that Software Heritage automatically and systematically archives all R packages from cron, and the same for all Python packages from PyPI, for instance. And some very well-known software used in bioinformatics are also archived, such as Cytoscape for network visualization, GROMACS for molecular dynamic simulation, Bowtie for genomics alignment, and Jupyter for everyday analysis. And really, I'd like you to save your code now, at least after my talk. And to do this, you have to go on this website that is archive.softwareheritage.org/save, and it's a three-step process. The first step, excuse me, is to define, to choose, to select the version control systems. It's either Git Subversion or Mercurial. Then you have to type in the URL of your repository, and then just hit the submit button, and in the next couple of minutes your source code will be definitely archived into Software Heritage, like this one. So it's a project I'm currently working, and I archived it yesterday, for instance. Something we may ask in bioinformatics is, actually in bioinformatics, we are producing a very large range of code from a very large code base that software that has been developed maybe in a lab for many years by many people, from to the small R script probably you wrote to generate your figure for your last paper, or maybe some Python script you wrote some months ago to make some calculations, to make some analysis. The thing is, Software Heritage archives any open source code, so it doesn't matter if it's a big project or very small project for your everyday analysis. So archiving your code is very good, but it's also important to bring metadata, as Carol Gobler mentioned later. So there is two ways to bring metadata along your source code. One is to bring metadata for humans, such as README files, author files, or license files, and license files is very important. And also metadata for machines, and the code metadata JSON standard is quite interesting here. Once your software is archived in Software Heritage, Software Heritage will issue a suite for you that is an intrinsic persistence identifier, a bit more powerful than the classical DWI. And eventually, excuse me, you will be able to make a reference of your software with this suite and directly from the Software Heritage pages corresponding to your software. So we had big news last Tuesday, actually. The French National Plan for Open Science has been released, and for the very first time nowadays, software is at the same level than open data and open access to the scientific literature. And a Software Heritage is now the recommended way to archive your software when you are when you create a software. Okay, I try to be quick, so thank you very much for your attention, and I'll take question in the roundtable later.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Just in time.